Good afternoon, everyone. National Aesthetic Spa Network members. We are so glad that you could join us on our first Abundance webinar. It is Monday, April 27th, 2020, and it is an exciting time to be alive and be a business owner. My name is Denise Fuller. I'm the founder of the National Aesthetic Spa Network. I founded the organization over 16 years ago, and our core values still remain the same, no matter what we're doing as an esthetician or a spa owner. NASNPRO, we want to elevate our industry, our education. We want to offer excellent resources, strategies to empower the industry and professionals just like you. So again, thank you so much for being on this webinar today, or if you're watching the replay, thank you for tuning in and giving us your valuable time. It is our first network or our first NASNPRO webinar, and I'm excited because we have a new sponsor called Facets of Hospitality. They are doing the tech support, but FOH is a branding building boutique firm dedicated to creating digital solutions for your company's growth, for hosting maybe a digital event or helping you on your website. They're going to help you build your business virtually and or strategically. So check them out. If you haven't been able to access nasnpro.com, make certain that you go in and become a member. It is free. You'll find many member rewards, exclusive discounts that are only just for us. I think as we are looking into going back into reopening our business, one of our favorite member rewards is our partnership with Office Depot. So if you have to do any printing, you get almost 80% discount off. So make certain that you are a member. Make certain that you are able to access all of our amazing sponsors that we have. And remember that NASNPRO always works with professional brands. We don't partner with MLM companies. We want to support the professional with professional companies. With that said, it is my great pleasure to welcome our first webinar guest, Tasha Chen. She is an author, coach, and speaker internationally. She helps businesses become successful by encouraging entrepreneurs to step into their power and remember to create their reality. Tasha's interest is something I found out in entrepreneurship began in operating a chain of successful hair franchises. So she comes from the beauty industry, which I love. She has developed and is teaching the science of building wealth. So it's not woo-woo or just some secret she's not going to tell you. She has developed some very creative strategies. She has coached and helped entrepreneurs around the world generate $37.5 million in revenue. Can someone say, hey, I could use some of that? So Tasha, take it away. Thank you so much for being here with NASNPRO.
Thank you, Denise and Team NASNPRO. All of you watching, hello, happy Monday. In my world, it's Money Monday. So this is the perfect day for this call. Oh my goodness, Denise, thank you for having me on. And to everyone watching, thank you for being here. So before we get started, I just want to say, in order to make the most of what I'm going to share, you probably are going to want pen and paper. So if you need a second to grab that or get your phone ready to take notes, that would be awesome. And because I know this is a webinar, we can't see each other, sometimes we get distracted. What I'm going to share with you today, the number that Denise actually shared, I need to send you an updated bio because we have actually, this is the number that's tracked. You know how people are with money. Not everyone's going to want to tell you, but this is a number that we have personally tracked. And it is now over $45.5 million.
Wow.
That we have shown people. And we just got a new multi-millionaire. In our group, we just made one last week, another one. So the number keeps growing, And I share that with you to say that what I'm about to share with you is so relevant It's so important right now that I just want to ask you to be completely present. So, maybe just take yourself in a little spot where you can hear everything that I'm going to say. I promise you, I'm not complicated. I'm, I'm not going to share like any, it is called the science of getting rich, but it's no calculations needed, nothing too serious. This is going to blow your mind how simple it is. It is like the easy fruit at the bottom of the tree. You could literally just reach and pick it, right? So, but it's so important that you want to be present so you can hear. So, who's ready for some abundance?
I am.
Yes
Yes,
or yes?
yes. And I've got my pen and paper.
I love it. So, yes or yes. Type in the comments if you're on the webinar, if you're on Facebook watching live, just type yes. So I know that you're here and you're like in for this conversation. You're ready for abundance. I know right now, like all we hear is everything else, right? Scarcity and fear and lack and there's not enough and all that. Well, how about some abundance?
Absolutely.
Let's talk about some abundance. If you're ready for some abundance, type yes.
Well, and I was going to say, Tasha, it was actually one of our NASNPRO members that was at one of your conferences on the Treasure Coast, and she was broadcasting you live. And I just I was watching virtually just like we are today. And I'm like, oh, this is so good. And it wasn't intangible information that you were giving. Like this was really accurate strategies on how you can build your business and create this atmosphere of abundance. And I know it's really kind of scary right now as an esthetician because we are in a touch profession.
Right.
So how can you help me be encouraged knowing that it's very difficult to even open my business, or maybe I'm in a state that isn't even allowed to do business right now. So I'm excited that you're here. So again, thank you, thank you, thank you. I just needed to interject that and take it away.
All right. So if you probably haven't figured out yet, I'm a very feed off of energy kind of girl. So here's what I'm going to ask for you. I am here. I am showing up 1,000% for the duration of this webinar. And I'm just going to ask in exchange that you give me some energy too. And the way I receive energy is when you interact and you engage and you respond and you type and you put likes and you do all that. Like that just raises my vibration. And I just show up even more. I have so much in here that I know you can use. Listen, if I've shown people how to make over $45 million, there's probably a thing or two that I could share that will definitely help prepare you for when this all changes, because it will. And the people who succeed the most when this transition shifts are going to be the people who are doing what you're doing right now. You are working on preparing yourselves to receive more than you ever have. The people who are worried and in fear and spending time feeding that, when this all changes, they would have spent so much time there that when they come back, when everything changes, they're still going to be in that mindset and they're still going to be seeing the evidence of that. But you guys, having been here and watched this, you are going to reap such incredible rewards that it's going to blow your mind how your life becomes better, right? So I'm just going to ask you, be present, interact, give me some love, let me know that you're here, type in the comments, and let's talk about, what can you do right now? What are some things that are very, very tangible, like you can do right now while we're on this webinar? Not, this is not some off in the distant future thing. We can literally do this right now and it will 3, 4, maybe even 5 times your income. And how about this? Because I was in this industry, so I know. How about this? 3, 4, 5 times your income, and it keeps going. It keeps going. Because I know if you're like me, this is, like I'm thinking, you know what, when this opens back up and I can go back into my business, I know it's going to be like the floodgates are going to open. But my next natural thought might be, but how long is that going to last, right? So what you want to be doing is the work right now to make sure you 3, 4, and 5 times your income, but that it keeps going beyond that. So if you're all about that, type more money. Come on. Hashtag
More money.
money.
More money. Show me the money.
By the way, guys, I love money. If you haven't figured it out, I love money. I hope you're comfortable with me saying that, because before this webinar is done, you're going to love money as much as I do, right? So I love money, but I really, if you're like all about that we 3, 4, 5 times multiply our income and that it keeps going, then more money, like that, more money. So I want to take a little bit before we continue to share with you guys, especially this special group. I talk to people all over the world. I go to events, I host events, I'm always in different groups. I have to say this is my very first time ever. And this is actually a manifestation for me, because when I started to do this work and change my life, the thing that I wanted to do the most with the information was go back to the industry that I had just left, which is this industry, and share this with them. And okay, it took 6.5 years and meeting Denise and whomever it was that was at my event recording it, and Denise saw, and then here I am. But hey, I manifested it. I manifested all of you watching, because truth be told, I really wanted the salon industry, the spa industry, the estheticians, like the people who are doing this incredible work. By the way, I miss you guys in my life. I miss you. Oh my God.
And can I brag just a moment? Our NASNPRO members are amazing. I mean, we do have over 30,000 in our network worldwide, but they're passionate. They love what they do, whether they're a massage therapist, an esthetician, a cosmetologist, but they want to sincerely bring the best of the best service. Their heart is in it so much. And it's funny, I mean, I actually have a little rose quartz heart. Their heart is in it. So I know that when I saw what you were doing, and it just, there were so many things that clicked for me. That's why I was like, I reached out to you. I think I Facebooked you, private message, sent you a pigeon, because when I see somebody that can give us tangible things, I want us to connect, because that's what we've been doing for 16 years. We're learning from each other. We want to grow in abundance. And we have to connect and network, not just with what we do virtually, but then take it back to our community and help each and every community thrive.
Yes, 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 yes. Speaking my language. So I want to share with you guys a little bit about how this moment arrived, how we happen to be here face to face, or you're watching or listening, and a little bit about me and how this little girl is now here doing the work that I'm doing because I changed my life. I'm gonna take you back to the very beginning. I grew up in Jamaica. Everybody wants to go to Jamaica, but one of the other parts of living in a tropical island is that it's a third world country. And what that means is there are, there were probably 2.2, 2.3 million people in this less developed country, which means there's not as many opportunities for success as there are in a first world country such as the United States. And so everyone is just vying for the very little that's there. And what happens is you go through the education system, and culturally your parents tell you, you literally cannot walk by an adult without hearing, no, you better work really hard. It's the only way you're going to succeed. It's, as a child, I grew up constantly. And I know that this is not different than many people in other countries, but this was like our culture, like as little kids, the pressure that we're under. At 10 years old, you have to pass an exam at 10 years old that determines if you go to high school or if you go to trade school. Trade school at 10. And so my mom told me at 10 years old, if you don't pass this test, no worries. We have some land in the country. I'll just buy you a machete and a hoe, and that's your life. Go do your thing. I'm a 10-year-old little kid. I became so afraid of failing, so immensely afraid. So what did I do? I bought into the Kool-Aid. I worked hard. I wanted to work harder than everyone else, and I succeeded in school, and then I got a job. And what did I do? My formula said, just keep working hard, working hard. That's the way you succeed. And I did that. I had a corporate job. And the other thing that was kind of lingering in my mind was I wanted freedom. I wanted to be in charge of my own destiny. I didn't want any limits on the amount of money I could make. I was now beginning to have a little family. I wanted my own time with my kids, right? So we all know about the dream, the American dream. And I wanted that. So I thought to myself, gosh, I know how to work really hard. I know how to do that really well. I'm going to be guaranteed success. And now I got this vehicle, entrepreneurship, that's going to have me have it happen even faster than I would if I had a job. So here I was, I bought into a franchise business, an even more guarantee of becoming successful. Now you heard that it was a salon business, and the first thing you're going to do is look at my hair. Well, let me just tell you, I'm not a stylist. As you can see, I need them very badly right now in my life. But you know, this is what we have to do until then. I'm going to be the girl that's going to go every day when all the salons and spas open. I'm getting a massage, I'm getting my face done, my hair done. I'm going every day. So I bought into this business, and it was a franchise business. And the franchise model is we tell you what to do, you do it, and you become successful. I love that. I know how to follow rules. So I work hard. I have a guaranteed system for success. Like, I'm going to crush this. And I did. Overnight, literally, I went from zero. I moved to a brand new town. Nobody knew me, never heard of me, never heard of this salon franchise name, was brand new to the area. And I built this business in little less than 4 years to 7 figures, 25 employees, 4 different locations. I was winning franchisee of the year. By the way, the only people that win franchisee of the year, they have like 80 stores and they've been in the system forever. Here I was, the new kid on the block, just like crushing it. And I'm winning all the awards. I'm on the front cover of the newspaper. I have never seen money flow like this period in my life. Just, I mean, I was just check. You want to define success? That was check, everything. And then I failed. And I failed miserably. The kind of failure that involved filing Chapter 11 bankruptcy, getting divorced, being asked to get divorced, my kids not even recognizing me. I had a little baby that came along in all this madness, and literally he would look at me and scream, like, who are you? I was in and out of the hospital from stress-related anxiety. Just, it was showing up all over my body and nobody could figure out what was going on. I was just in and out, like a revolving door. And so my life, as I knew it, got ripped from under me like that. Like, from being at the top and being successful and following this formula for success to like it just all being gone. And the woman that's here in front of you today is one who had to pick herself up from nothing, from it all being gone. My entire identity, I was Tasha the salon owner, front cover of the newspaper, success story, the entire Chamber of Commerce, all that stuff. Everybody knows you in your town, to nothing, and having to redefine who I was. And what I'm going to share with you today is the way, like the top 3 ways that whenever anyone invites me into a conversation about this, that I share, this is exactly what I did to create this incredible business that I have, the freedom I now have. I take 8 weeks off in the summer. I travel all over the world. Sometimes I let my kids join and then they go back, and then I spend the rest of the week, the rest of the time touring. But I really have created my dream life. I don't know what your dream life is, but I can tell you today, I'm going to share with you how you can begin to create abundance when we get back into running your businesses. My business continues, but in your business, right? When you get back to the physical. So I just want to ask you, can you relate to my story? Have you been working really hard for your money?
I think everyone can say yes, definitely. And, whether you've had a situation where, a divorce, or in my case, I'm a widow, Tasha, and things do change like this. But I think right now, everyone is in the same boat because with this COVID-19, we've all had to shut down. So the rug has been pulled out, and what do we do? How do we pivot?
Exactly. So, so again, remember, I want to know that you're here and that this is resonating and this is relevant for you. So can you just type yes, like, do you recognize that you have maybe even just a belief that you have to work hard for money? And do you also, another thing, thank you, Denise, for bringing that up. Are you concerned right now about your financial future? So yes or no to either one, but just type so I know where you are and kind of like get a gauge for where to take the conversation. If any of those apply, can you just type yes so that I know? All right. So I'm going to.
And yes. Okay. Yes on both ends.
Yes.
I'll talk for them.
Thank you. So what I'm going to share with you and my style is obviously, I really feel I can get really serious in this conversation, but I don't like that. So I want to share with you from either my own stories or, my client stories that have actually used these 3 things that I'm about to tell you and literally changed their businesses and their financial results, right? So it's going to be easy steps. Listen before I start. It's going to blow your mind how easy it is. And sometimes that's the problem. Because we have agreed that we need to work hard for money, that when someone comes along and says, here's these 3 easy things you can do, it's like, no way. Oh, that can't work. That's too easy. Well, these easy steps have allowed people to become multi-millionaires. So they work. That I know. You have the choice after I've shared them with you to use them or not, but they work. All right. So this first one, number 1, get ready with your pen and paper. And this first one I used to 4 times my annual income in 1 month. So let me put that in perspective for you. I looked at how much money I made the year before, total it all up, and I said, wonder if I could do that in a month. 1 month. 4 times the number in 1 month. And I did. So, and I know, sometimes the ego, here's what, let me just caution you. Your ego right now will want to tell you, oh, that she's in a different business, or she knows more, or she's better than me somehow, or right, she has more opportunities. Your ego is going to want to start telling you why this can't work for you. Well, I just want you to just pause, take a moment, and hear me tell you the truth. The process that I use to create this result, you have access to. Every human being has access to. Doesn't matter. It's not like it was dished out and it was like, oh, here you go. Some for you, but not for you. All of us have access to what I'm about to tell you. Many of us do not use it. Right? So just listen to me, hear me out, and be willing. That's all I ask when I share this. Just be willing to give it a try. So number 1 is I set an intention. You are getting ready to open your businesses again. You're getting ready to go back. You have the opportunity right now to use this superpower that you have, which is the opportunity to create the results you want. So right now in this moment, and I do, if you can, I want you to type, I want you to write it on your sheet of paper, but I want you to type in the comments too, because when we see each other engaged and we see each other going for it, we inspire each other, right? So right now, I want you to decide, when you open your doors again, when you go back to your businesses, maybe you start getting ideas of how you can make money even now. I have lots of my clients who are making more money now than before, and it's easier. So don't close your mind to, well, I can't make money till the doors open again. If you're open, you might get some ideas that haven't come forth before because you've never been in this circumstance, right? So be willing to just be willing to be open. So number 1 is to set an intention. What is your desire, your new intention for what you want to create financially for a set period of time? So maybe per week or per month or per day when you open up again, or in your new idea that you get. And I want to ask you, I want to define the difference between an intention and another word that we hear a lot, which is a goal. I'm not against goals. If that language works for you, go for it. When you tell me I have a goal, my mind goes into, I have to work. I gotta track it and do all these things, and I gotta measure it down to, so, and then I'm not inspired. I'm not motivated at all, right? Because it just doesn't do anything for me. But an intention is a fact. You are right now declaring, this is my reality. So a goal says, someday in the future, I want to be creating $1,000 a day. I have a client that's a seamstress, and she told me she wanted to do this, and I thought to myself, how in the world am I going to show her how to do that? Well, it took her 30 days, less than 30 days, and she did it, because the principles apply no matter what business you're in, right? So here we go. A goal says, I want to, for example, I want to serve 20 clients a day. So now when you go into 20 clients a day, your next thought is going to be, okay, now where can I find these 20 clients? What do I need to do? And you start going down, and if that inspires you, go for it. It doesn't inspire me. I feel stressed. I feel overwhelmed. I feel like I don't know. It doesn't do anything for me. But if I say, I am a business owner, I serve 20 people a day. That is my average. That's a fact. It's just a fact. And then here's what happens. All these things come together to make it your reality. Not from you efforting, and I wish I knew this back when I was in the hair salon business. Not from me efforting, but from me declaring, this is a fact. Just like my name is Tasha. I don't need to do anything to prove that. It just is, right? So your intention is, what is your new reality? Is it a certain amount per month or per week? What is it? Declare it, write it down. How much is it going to be, 3 or 4 times what you made before? Maybe before you were making $500 a day. In this new reality, what are you declaring as your intention? You get to decide right now, and then you get to live it. I tell people, I write out my life and then I live it. So you're going to write it out right now and then live it. Maybe it's even further. Maybe you want to say, you know what? I don't care how many clients I get. I don't care how much money. This is what really matters. This is the amount of money I deposit every week into the bank. That would light me up. I love that. Like, I really don't care how many clients. I don't care how much per day, how much per week, how much per month. At the end of all of that, I want to be depositing this much per month in my bank account. Or in your industry, I know there's a lot of cash, right? So maybe you want to say, this is it. I want, my intention is, I am putting aside $2,500 a month in cash. That's just my fun money. And every month, that's my new reality that I am creating. What is your intention? That is number one. That year.
And Tasha, let me just interject. When I heard you say that,
yeah.
And for me, I'm a person that I get signs. I'm a really big person about signs. So it's not, for us, we wanted to see some growth in our network.
Yeah.
So I'm a faith-based person, and one day I was reading Deuteronomy 1:11, and it just kind of clicked. I heard your kind of voice in the background. This is Tasha, God was speaking through it, but Deuteronomy 1:11 talks about 1,000% increase. So every time I started to see 1:11, I was like, our social media is increasing by 1,000%. Our network, we are reaching, because that's where my heart's goal is. I want to reach more professionals, estheticians, beauty professionals, spa salon owners. So every time I saw 1:11, whether it is 1:11 a.m. in the morning or 1:11, at night, I would, those things. And then I started to see 1:11 throughout things. I bought some, as we all have on Amazon, been buying things. I did 4 orders. All 4 orders, all different companies, all started out with 111.
I love it.
So I was like, okay, there's my sign. Declare it, decree it. That's my intention. So I just wanted to interject that.
Oh, I love that.
Raising that vibration, even though it's stressful now, But sometimes those little signs can motivate you
Keep you
to
going.
remind you to do what you're setting your intention.
Yes, yes, yes. They're saying they love it. Great. I can see the comments. So here's what I do. So I want to go back to how I did this, right? So I set the intention. I knew what the number was, like my 4 times number. I knew what the number was, and I put it big and bold in my office. And I'm also faith-based, so I wrote underneath, I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. And that was my reminder that this was not Tasha that was going to create this result. So I didn't need to worry about it. I had literally just asked. It was like, you know, ask and you shall receive. Writing an intention is a declaration that this is my reality. I have asked for it and I am receiving it, period, end of story. And so then I just kept it visible every single day. Now, were there some days when I was like, I don't know if this is going to work? Yeah. And there are going to be days when you feel like that. And there are going to be moments, like Denise says, when it feels stressful, you know? And here's the thing, back to why I don't believe so much in goals and hard, like it needs to look like this. Like the way I was going to figure out how I was going to make this money was I was going to have an event. And I figured if I have this many people show up at the event, and I ran the numbers, then it's very, very likely I stand a chance of making this number that I wrote. Well, you know what? Every day. So what happened was I started stressing about how many people are signing up for the event. Like you're going to be stressing about how many clients are on the books today, how many appointments do we have, how many, right? And you're going to start looking at things like that and stressing yourself out. And so when I realized that that was happening, I was like, no, my attention is in the wrong place. My attention is in the work versus the result. The result is what I want. That's what I'm focused on, the intention, this new reality that you're creating. So I took my attention off of the number of people registering, and I'm going to tell you, just show up and give your best service. That's it. And have this intention and trust that by doing your best, giving your best service, and having this intention, whatever needs to happen is going to happen. And you're going to get your results. I think I had maybe 2/3 of the number I thought I needed, and I still made the results. Right? So set your intention. That's number 1. Number 2 is going to sound so easy. The first thing you're going to tell me is, oh, I already do that. Let me just warn you. Many people say, oh, I already do that. And I'm going to challenge you. I'm going to challenge you on this one. So here's what I want you to know. My client, who thought of herself as very, very, very spirit-based, very Christian, very religious, a good person, like textbook, you know, positive person. When I opened her awareness to her relationship with money and that she wasn't as positive as she thought, and then I told her what to do, she went from where she was, she doubled her prices, and she told me, I want to make $50,000 in the next 6 months. Like from now to 6 months from now, I want to bring in a total of $50,000. And I looked at her and I said, why don't you set an intention for $50,000 per month? So instead of over 6 months, how about per month? That had never even crossed her mind. She's like, you think I could do that? I know you can do that, right? Let me show you how. So she did. And I remember Diane, my business partner, and I, we were on a plane, deplane in Italy, one of these summer trips. And we get this message from her, it's a video. Diane's got one earbud in one ear. I've got the other one. We got the phone in between. Everyone's coming off of the plane and we're sitting there watching and bawling because you know what it feels like when you achieve a financial desire that you never thought was possible? Amazing. $50,000 a month. Now she's in the wedding planning business, and I knew that that was something that she could do. She just needed to believe that she could. I don't know what your number is that you've never thought of before, but you know, and I'm here to tell you it's possible, but it's going to require number 2. And number 2 is a positive mindset and a great energetic relationship with money. Now, remember I told you, your first thing you're going to tell me is, oh, I do that. I have a positive mindset with money. I have a good relationship with money. My energy with money is great. Well, I'm going to challenge you on that. And you know how you can know what your relationship is like with money? Look at the way it comes to you. Does it come easily to you? Does it come consistently? Does it come in little bits or big bits? That is your number one. Look at your bank account right now. Look at the way you feel when you think about money. That is your biggest, like, you don't have to go too far to know what the truth really is about your relationship with money. Your life is going to tell you the truth. And so for this lady, SJ, when I brought to her awareness, she goes, you know what? The truth is, I'm pissed off at money. I really am. As soon as it comes in, it goes out. I got bills to pay. I got to do all this. Like, I worked so hard to get it, and then it comes, and then it's gone. And you know, Tasha, the truth is, for so long, I struggled as a single mom, and there was just never enough. I couldn't give my kid what she wanted. I couldn't give myself the lifestyle I wanted. I was constantly not enjoying life because of money. Tasha, I actually hate money. I resent it for the control that it has had over my life. So this seemingly very positive person was not so positive in her relationship with money. So I want to challenge you to kind of look at your money stuff and see what is the truth for you. And here I'm going to give you some tips about how you can begin to change this. It literally is just you deciding and saying some new things that are going to change your relationship with money. One thing is, I love money. That's why I walk around, I love money. You know what? Sure, I've had some crappy things happen in my life with money, but I've done the work to release it. And Denise invited me to come back to do a whole other session with you around trauma and money. So we're gonna look forward to that. We're gonna do that. But really, I did the work, and now I can say and be in my truth. I love money. How do I know I have a positive relationship with money? I look at my bank account. I see the way money comes easily. I see how I feel when I'm not losing sleep at night worried about money. I have a good relationship with money, and that's what you want to. And it can start by simply saying, I easily make this much amount of money per week. I easily make it. Not that I have to work hard for it, but I easily. I want to see you guys typing. I easily make what? What are you deciding? I easily, that's the operative word. I easily make this much. I love money. I want you, those of you on the webinar, type so I can see that you're going. Melanie says, oh my God, it's the energy. It is the energy, not the words you say. It is the energy, right? I love money. I'm always fully booked. I am always fully booked. That's my truth. I am always fully booked, and money comes easily to me in my business. My clients love high-end services. My clients love high-end services. You know what? I don't need to sell them. I don't need to convince them. They literally walk in the door wanting to give me their money for the highest end services that I can provide. I love it. I love that money comes to me so easily. I love that my bank account always have a large positive balance. I love that when I think of money, I am always smiling, right? And you just start saying it over and over and over again, and it is going to switch the energy of your relationship with money.
Well, didn't you, Tasha, a couple weeks ago, we were on one of your webinars, and you had said something about your money is like a lavish lover. And first I was like, woo! You know,
I'm going there next, Denise.
Okay, but you know what? It got me to thinking, I deserve this, you know, because right now we're kind of budgeting, you know, should we go the McDonald's coffee or the Starbucks?
Yes.
And then afterwards, I was driving around. I was helping my mother-in-law. She's almost 80, doing groceries. I passed Starbucks, and I'm a Starbucks. I do love my Starbucks.
Yeah.
And I was like, no. And then I'm like, wait a minute. No. As much as it's coming, it needs to go out. Yes. And I deserve that $5.50 chai tea latte that
yes.
I love. I deserve.
Yes. Me and you. You know, so I have this teaching, and maybe I can come back and do this one, but this is it's a law of prosperous spending. And in essence, it is this, right? When it comes to money, and especially right now, what we tend to do is, because we have this relationship of fear with money, when we have times like this, we go, oh my God, I better keep every penny I have. You know, oh my God, I'm so scared. Am I ever going to have enough? So you want to hoard. your money. You want to be tight and keep it here. Here's the thing. In a few days, weeks, whatever this turns out to be, my intention is that as fast as possible, you're going to open your doors and you are going to be asking people to give you their money. And let me just put it in simple layman's terms. If you're like this with your money, but then you want to be like this to receive other people's money, it doesn't work. It's an energetic mismatch, right? So the vibration, the energy, someone said, I get it. Like me right now, every idea I get to spend money, I spend. Now, I'm not telling you to go into debt or spend more than you have or any of that. I'm just telling you, be very mindful. If you're like in scared, frightened, let me hold on to my money energy, and then you're going to go out and ask other people to freely give it to you, it's not going to work. So I use this example. Maybe I have $60 in my bank account. I see a beautiful pair of shoes and they cost $70. I realize in the moment I can't have what I want. Now I start getting angry towards money again. I start feeling bad. I start doing all that, right? I'm back in that bad energy with money. I say to myself, wait a second, if I keep this feeling going, then I'm always going to be in this bad energy with money. What can I do to change it? And here's what I tell my clients. You have to realize that you have $60 in your bank account right now because you've been thinking thoughts of not enough money, very little money, I don't ever have enough. And so that's why you only have $60. If you want to have $600, you have to think different thoughts starting now. So what I tell them is to put yourself in a good energetic relationship with money. In that moment, you go buy yourself a $2 cup of coffee at McDonald's. You go buy yourself your $5 chai latte. You go buy yourself a journal. Right? You can afford something. So you might not be able to afford the $70 shoe, but take what you have and just go buy a little thing that makes you feel good and makes you switch back to good energy with money, and then you open up again to receiving it. So that's that part. I'm going to move on. Thank you for those of you that are posting. I easily make money, Marietta says, I think. My clients are loyal. All this money just flows into my account. Girl, you're a girl of my own heart. I love it. Okay, so now the last one. This one's going to blow your mind, but I had to do this for myself. And when I talk about all these crazy ways that you can change your relationship with money and open up for abundance, I want you guys to do this before you go back to business. I want you to think of money as a lover. I know right now you're going, what did she say? What?
That was me. What?
What did she say? And I'm pretty sure this industry, you know, predominantly women, so we can relate, and even guys, men, women, we all have lovers, right? So I want you to think of money as your lover. If money were your lover right now, what kind of relationship would it feel that it had with you? How would it experience you as a lover of it? Would it feel like, oh my God, this B word, can't even curse, this B word again, here she comes, ready to beat me up, tell me I'm never around, tell me I don't give her enough, tell me, like, just be ungrateful, just be, you know, just never satisfied with me. Oh my God, and she's so needy. He's so needy. I don't want to be around, right? If that's how your lover would be about you, like, gosh, you are so needy. You're always like, when you think of me, it's always with this heaviness and this, there's never enough of me and you can't, and you just like, you're so heavy. I don't want to be around you. And so as a lover, you can get that, like, that lover is not going to stick around. So here's what I want to challenge you to do. Number 3. When I asked myself this question, if money were my lover, how would it feel about me? And I had to see the truth. It would say, Tasha, you are ungrateful. You're ungrateful. I can never give enough of myself to you. You're never satisfied. And you know what? You're always looking for ways that I'm not there. You never see the ways that I am there. You never see all the ways I'm trying to show up for you. You're just seeing all the ways that I'm, you know, that you have to work hard for me. So here's the thing. Money is like a lover. It wants to please you it wants to provide for you, and it wants to protect you. But as your lover, think of it like that literally, as your lover, if you do not have a grateful relationship, if you know, like you're not appreciative, you're not like waiting with open arms, you're not like soft, sweet energy, it's not gonna come to you and do those things for you. So the last one, number 3, I had to sit down and write a love letter to money. Yes, I did. I wrote a love letter as if money were my lover, and I said, money, it was like this. I am so grateful for all the ways that you provide for me. I'm so grateful for all the ways you give me a business, you give me clients, you flow to me with the services that I'm gifted to do. You know, there's so many other ways that I can make money that I haven't even, that I can invite more of you into my life that I've been shut off to. I've been so judgmental of you, and I'm so sorry. Please forgive me. I want to invite you in. I want a deeper relationship. I want you to be my boo. I want you to have my back all the time. I want so much of you that when I look, I'm like, gosh, there's an abundance of this loving money energy in my life. And it changed everything for me. Everything. When I tell clients to do this, one of my clients, Donna, when she wrote this love letter, she was in my program and she wrote this love letter and she said, you know what this made me realize, Tasha? One, how ungrateful I had been to money, but even more so, how much I had looked to men to give me what money was trying to give me. So it's like a healing on all kinds of levels. That's what I want you to know. So if you are thinking about writing this love letter, can you just type love letter to money so I know? Love letter to money, love letter to money. Oh, I love letter to money. Type in the comments, if you're watching the webinar, type in the comments so that I can know, love letter to money, that you're gonna do this, because this is a big one. Yay, thank you, Bethany. Love letter to money. Dear money is my money, honey. I love it. Look at all the comments. Mwah, mwah, mwah. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Oh my gosh, so there you have it, right? The 3 ways. Number 1, set an intention right now before back to business. Set an intention inside. What's your new financial reality going to be? How much money are you going to make? And that this is going to be consistent. Like me, my intention is that money comes easily, consistently, and in large amounts. So you decide what that number is for you, and you also decide it's going to be consistent or higher, always. Number 2, you're going to really work on your relationship with money, your energy, your positive mindset with money. You're going to really become aware of how you're thinking when you're worried about money or anxious about money. You're going to become aware that you might not have the most positive energy about money and really start to change that. And number 3, write a love letter to money. Write a love letter to money.
So that's their homework.
Yes.
Is writing a love letter. And how many of you, because I know we're running a little bit short on time now, but I want to answer it for Q&A, but how many of you would like to have Tasha come back and do another webinar next Monday? So if you could write down, because, and this is what blew my mind, is when she started talking about money traumas. Mm-hmm. It was so powerful, the different blockages and the doors that were closed because of just some of the mindsets, and even since birth. Yeah. I resonated so with your story, Tasha, because I'm adopted also. Mm-hmm. So, you know, I was given away. So, right, you have this imprint almost within your DNA that you weren't worthy or worth. So I'm giving a little bit of a secret of what we're going to be touching on next Monday about how money traumas literally will stop that flow. But if anyone has any specific questions for Tasha right now, quick, ask them. Tasha, what?
They're all saying, I want more money, I want more money. We want another webinar. I love it.
So let me ask you this, Tasha. Number 1, setting your intention. Do you set your intention every day? Is it the same intention? Or is Monday maybe an intention and Tuesday? Or do you keep one, I don't want to say the word goal, but a consistent intention?
Okay, so we're going a little bit deep and I really wanted to stay simple, but but I'll
Okay.
just break it down simple, high level, is that this is a way of life for me. This is like a lifestyle, right? So I do it, me personally, like a crazy person, because here's the thing. I'm addicted. I realize that I can create my life just by writing out what I want. So I do this all the time. But when people first come into our program, which I would love to share with you guys, how we can talk. But when people first come into our program, I tell them, take baby steps. So set a 30-day intention, right? Just set an intention for in the next 30 days. And you literally start with, like, today's the 27th of April. You would start with, it is May 27th, 2020. And I have received, or I have manifested, or whatever it is in the past tense, as if it's already done. And you would write, let's say, $5,000 a week for the last 4 weeks, or I have deposited, $5,000 in the bank this month, or I have $2,500 in cash and I'm so grateful. So you want to start with baby steps, doing it for a set period of time. And then over time, eventually, I do this every day. I make like a whole sheet of intentions every single day.
Well, and
so
I can
get there eventually.
And the one thing that I learned is, I love to give away things. That makes me happy. I believe we should be generous, whether it's you're giving an offering or for a charity, wherever you want to give. So one thing that I've done is when I give and I'm writing a check to, doesn't matter where it is, whether it's to an animal sanctuary, to a church, in that little memo, I put a note as to where I want that money to go to. Not to them, but if I say giving $500 to a charity group, then in my memo, I'll put NASNPRO. I'm directing where I want it to come back. Because I think a lot of times we give away stuff and we get something in return, but it's not necessarily where we need it.
Yeah. I love it. Hey, you taught me something today. What I do that, I love that actually, I really love that. What I do is, and I teach this, is that when I invest money, so right, one of the things in my work is I invite people to invest in themselves so I can show them how to change their lives. And I tell them, before you make this investment, this is what I do when I'm going to invest in myself. I decide I'm going to make this investment and this is the return I want. And many times the return is, I'm making this investment of this amount and my return that I'm asking for is this amount, 5 times that or 4 times that or whatever. So that's kind of like that's just a different angle, but that's the way I do it. Is I'm about to spend this, or for me, it's invest in myself, and this is the return that I want. You can do it the same thing with your spending, like I am circulating this money, and every time I circulate money, I'm so grateful, and here is the desire I want. It's okay to ask for money for yourself. Yeah.
All right. Are there any questions? Are you seeing any questions?
I see Cheryl has her hand raised. Let's see if we go to Q&A. I love money, Julie says. So I think we might have to find, I don't know if Cheryl says come back. Maybe that was just what she wanted to say, was come back. But Cheryl, I see your comment saying come back. I don't know if you had a specific question and you could post it in the chat.
Abigail had her hand raised, but I'm not seeing.
So while we're waiting for the questions, can I share with everyone how to connect? Just wanted to thank you. Oh, Sharon, you're welcome. I love thanks. I love gratitude. I am grateful you showed up too. 2 participants have raised their hands, it says. So yeah, I just wanted to share, if this conversation resonated with you and you know that you're at a place where you'd love for us to have a conversation about more about the program that I share with people, please get in touch with me. I can share with you, I'm going to type in the comments, but also, go ahead, Denise, were you going to say something?
Oh, no, I was just going to say, Tasha, if you want to share maybe your email, if people want to get in touch with you. But I think this is a good time for everyone on a Monday at 2:00 Eastern Standard Time. Again, if you haven't been able to join NASNPRO, it is complimentary. So again, we're getting resources to you. And please share, with your fellow beauty professionals, your SD besties about NASNPRO, because we want to grow. We want to reach more people. And I know, and I just have to do a shout out to our industry as a whole. Our industry has brought you amazing webinars. So we just want to give a hats off to so many that are out there providing educational resources on how to set up an e-commerce. Tap into those, ask your vendor, I said sponsors, our sponsors, but the vendors, your vendor, call them up and say, how can we work together? We're about to open, and be ready, be excited and prepared that you're not just going to get a flood of clients, but that they're going to consistently be loyal with you. Because this is what I think our biggest challenge is. And you know it, Tasha, because you were in the industry, the beauty. We have these peaks and valleys where we're slammed and we're working 14 hours a day. And then it's like, woo, we have all this money. And then it dive bombs.
Right.
And one of the things that I loved what you said is keeping our vibration. And I know these times it's easy to start listening to the news, going on those Facebook feeds, and then you're seeing all this negativity, and then you start to also dive in your negativity. And it's okay to cry. It's okay to be mad. It's okay to be sad. You just don't want to stay there.
Yeah.
You want to find something that can raise your energy, so that if that means going for a drive, if that means, putting on some good old-fashioned rock and roll music and turning it up, and even if your neighbors think you're crazy driving around the neighborhood, it's okay. Whatever works for you to get you into that level of, I got this. And remember that you've got a network that's working for you. You've got a network that is praying for you. We are doing this because we love you and we want you guys to be the very best professionals. So I'm so excited again. Thank you, Tasha, for coming on board. How can we ask you more questions or reach out to you?
Okay, so I just want to say really quick, shout out to NASNPRO, because I was in this industry and I didn't have a resource like this. But I can tell you that the business that I've now built, one of the major things that I see creating success for people is a community. And so I just, Denise hasn't even asked me, I'm just listening to her and I'm thinking with my heart, oh my gosh, I would have had something like this. And an organization that would bring somebody like me back when I had my business to just feed into me and support me and keep me encouraged, or other, educational resources, or the opportunity to get together or hang out with other salon owners. Being in business is lonely. And being in this kind of business, especially, everybody, you tend to think of each other as competition. So to be able to come in an environment that's established like this, that's just meant to support you, is incredible. So shout out to NASNPRO, join. that's what I gotta say about that. Sign up, and it's free. Oh my God, go for it. Right. I think that the websites were posted in the comments, but if you would love to just chat with me, and so here's the thing, I'm going to come back and do another webinar. So not just chat for chat's sake, but if you really feel like from what I've shared today, you think that I could really support you to take your business to the next level because of thinking differently, then get on my calendar. You can go there, helpmegetrich.com. helpmegetrich.com. All right. And I'm looking forward to those of you that you feel like that's right for you, and you feel like, you know what, I think this little Jamaican girl could really support me. helpmegetrich.com. So there's a question here. It says, do you have a morning ritual? All right, again, this is like asking the professor, right, how to write ABCs. So I'm going to be really honest with you. Right now, this is what I'm doing with this time. I run a business. I have a very successful global business. And right now, I'm not working on my business. I'm working on me. And so right now, it's not a morning ritual. It's a 4-hour ritual. I spend 4 to 5 hours every day. My work is on me. And when I work on me, it makes my business work, only take me a little bit of time. So that's very high level. I had to get there, right? So I had to take the baby steps to get to here. But I just want you to know that absolutely doing 2 or 3 things every single day, whether that's praying in the morning or writing in your journal, writing an intention, listening to some positive music. You just have to do it every day, like no matter what. You know, you don't wake up and go, should I brush my teeth today? I think I'll take a pass, right? Never do that. You do it every day, no matter what. So yeah, you have to have a ritual because that's how you get to live like this naturally.
Well,
Yeah.
and there's so many things that Tasha can offer. And again, I mean, I have a little bit of a heads up because I've been jumping on a lot of her webinars. And my mother-in-law just sold her house in Port St. Lucie on the Treasure Coast. And a lot of people know my story. They know that I'm a widow. They know that my husband was shot and killed in our backyard. And you know, when that first happened, the thought of even spending a Christmas or any type of holiday festivity at her house was just horrific. It took even a while for me to go out in the backyard. And as you know, now we're 8 years into it. We just sold the house, and I was in the backyard looking, and where that pain was in that backyard has now shifted to now there's peace.
Wow.
And I started thinking about right now we are in a painful situation because it is uncomfortable seeing businesses close, not being allowed to gather and have events. That breaks my heart.
Yep.
But I know we're going to get through this. I know this pain, we're going to be able to pivot, and we're going to come out with peace and profitability. Yeah. So hang in there, guys. You can do it.
And I want to just add, what if, this is what I've been thinking, what if it gets better than it was before? What if? We're so worried about the future, but what if it turns out to be better than it was before? I'm giving a lot of thought to that option. I don't know about you.
So I think we're going to wrap this up.
All right.
And again, thank you everyone that's going to join us. Thank you also Facets of Hospitality for your technical support. Make certain to go on NASNPRO.com, check them out. They have an exclusive discount or exclusive reward just for NASNPRO members. And check out all of our sponsors that we have. They're pretty amazing. We can't wait to see you. And for all of you that are joining us on the live webinar, thank you. We will see you, and we want to know the results of your homework or that love letter next Monday at 2 o'clock Eastern Standard Time.
Yay! Thanks, everyone. Thanks, Denise. Bye.